do. Ladies and gentlemen,
Terms.
boys and girls, whatever the hell you want to call it. Welcome back. This is going the JC route. This is episode 24. I'm JC. That's the Birdman. Who knows where our third wheel is off to again? And today,
Flying up in the sky somewhere.
it's episode 24. So we are going to hone our inner Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace. We've got to own some mistakes we've made. And we're going to own it and come back stronger from it.
No, I'm not. Not next year.
Next year has to be
nobody.
Year.
No, it's not. Yeah, because the NCAA tournament makes that possible for everybody.
We made a promise last time, 2 weeks ago, that we were going to have the best bracket you could think of. And just like about 95% of people out there, ours was shit.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to own that. And we're going to apologize for our mistakes. But guess what? We're going to work harder. We're going to come back better than ever with everything else moving forward. Predictions until next March, whatever it may be, we'll be back. It's okay. However, now that we know that we're shit, not necessarily through our fault, who could have predicted what the heck the Final Four is? We've got 4 teams that are all below a 3 seed. And what did you say? 3 of which have never been to the Final Four before?
Mm-hmm. San Diego State, FAU, and Miami have never been to the Final Four before.
Because of that, we have a fascinating Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are just, it's been very unpredictable. Who would have thought that Alabama would lose? All the number 1 seeds gone, all the number 2 seeds gone. Like, it's been crazy. And honestly, it's almost, you almost don't even want to predict it because you're bound to get it wrong. But, UConn has been just obliterating anybody that's come across them. If they don't look like a title, if they don't look like they're going to win a national title right now, like, I don't know what looks like that, because they have obliterated Gonzaga by 30. I've never been a big fan of Gonzaga. I think I said this last time. I don't respect their conference. I don't respect it at all. And there's always a time where they come up with they choke in the tournament. But I didn't think they were going to lose by 30. I thought maybe they would, play with them, and they did for most of that first half. But that second half, they got absolutely obliterated. Their transition defense is fantastic. Their transition offense is even better. If they're playing like they did against Gonzaga and against Arkansas, there's nobody that can beat them. And as good of a story as FAU has been, I think San Diego State's going to be. I think San Diego State and UConn plays in the national title, and I think UConn beats them. If they play, like, the only way that I think you can beat UConn is UConn misses shots, and you have to get down and be very good on your transition offense. Because there were times when I was watching Arkansas play that they'd miss a shot, we get a rebound, or we get a steal, and their transition defense, they were right back to the opposite side of the court, and we couldn't do anything. Their defense was fantastic. So, yeah, I think it would be UConn, San Diego State, with UConn winning it all.
I don't necessarily have the hatred for Gonzaga that you do. But
I
if
don't
I'm
hate him.
being,
I don't hate him at all. I do not hate him. I actually, their head coach, I have a lot of respect for. I think he's a really decent person. But like as a as a team, as a basketball team, you're playing in a. Have you ever heard of the West Coast Conference?
the Stars are up 3-0 now. Nice.
Good, good, nice. No
Um,
way they blow that.
yes, I've heard of the
Have
West
you
Coast.
ever heard of the West? Name me like 5 teams from that conference.
I couldn't.
Okay.
I can name Gonzaga and I can name St. Mary's, and that's about it.
Okay, I don't hate Gonzaga. I don't like their conference is a joke. Just get that straight.
Let's see who is in there. Santa Clara. What is that? Loyola Marymount.
San Diego or no? Is San Francisco there?
What the heck? No. What? Why did you go to American East? Give me the West Coast.
B,
Gonzaga, St.
BYU
Mary's,
was
Santa
there.
Clara, Loyola Marymount, San Francisco. I guess I didn't realize San Francisco
BYU.
was in the West Coast.
Mm-hmm.
BYU, Pacific, Portland, San Diego, and Pepperdine.
Yeah. Not world beaters in basketball by any stretch of the imagination.
I'll tell you
Although
what, though.
San Francisco has won 2 titles, but that was with Wilt Chamberlain.
I'll tell you though, San
Anyways.
Francisco, they've got this dude named Shabazz on their team. Dude can hoop. I kind of hope he transfers and Oklahoma picks him up. That'd be great. We could use a shooter.
Oh, so do we. So can Arkansas.
That's besides the point. My thing is, I didn't think Gonzaga was going to win it this year, not because they're not talented, but the fact that in recent years they've had more talent and they weren't able to win it. I didn't expect them to win it this year, where they just had like Drew Timme, versus previous years when you had Timme, you could pair him with Andrew Nemhard and Jalen Suggs and whoever else, like Chet Holmgren, right? And they didn't win. So why would I think they would win this year? The answer is I didn't. But
did you think they would get beat by 30?
No, no.
Yeah.
It pays to be hot at the right time. UConn is fire. It's a fireball right now. Miami's hot. They just locked up Texas straight up. They out physical Texas, which blew my mind because Texas has long players. Shows what
I think Disu being out also had an effect because I don't think he played for any of that game.
But also it pays to have NIL. I know that's going to be a big topic this week where we're talking about Isaiah Wong begging for better NIL last year, getting it, staying. Well, guess what? Now they're in the Final Four. So I'm guessing that NIL paid off.
Sure looks like it.
And imagine what happens if they win. It'll just be insane. San Diego State, I think that was one of the bigger surprises to me because their defense this year is legit, like straight up. They just locked down Bama. Ridiculous. But also, we know.
Well, also Brandon Miller didn't show up. Anyways,
true, that's fair. But also, like we know how bad the Mountain West is in the tournament. Like going into this year, they hadn't won a game in like 8 years or something like that in the tournament. So, I expected San Diego State to win their first round, but not go much farther after that. So seeing them is actually really, really pleasant. And then who am I missing?
FAU.
Oh, FAU. I have no idea what the hell that is. I'll be honest. I had in every one of my brackets, I had them losing in the first round of Memphis.
I'm sure you did. I think we all did.
Like, I just expected Memphis to be a lot better. And honestly, if Memphis would have won, they're probably here at this point. Just being honest. But I mean, they would have had to get through, I think, because who did FAU beat? Their 1 seed?
They didn't have a 1 seed because their 1 seed got beat, I think.
No, because FAU Memphis was 8-9 game, so that the next round was a 1 seed.
Princeton.
No.
That was the 16.
Princeton was a 15, I thought.
That was a
No, they
15.
were
Oh,
16.
yeah.
They were 16. You're right, because they're the second 16 to win. So yeah,
No, because was Princeton a 16?
yeah, because no, FDU
No, it
was
wasn't. It was
they played FDU.
yeah, it was yes.
That's what it
So
was.
they've
FDU beat
yes,
whoever it was, but
Purdue.
Purdue. That's right. They were gonna have to play
Purdue.
Purdue, and they lost to FDU. So FAU had to play FDU, and they got shellacked as we would have expected.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought that was a funny story. Did you see that story they ran? How like FDU's head of sports communications is like a junior at their school.
I did see something like
The
that, yeah.
head of their SID department is a junior at the school. That's awesome.
What do you think? Like, I mean, it was fun, I think, to see these teams, but I mean, from a marketing standpoint, I mean, there's not like there's no, I don't know what the word is. I guess sexiness with these teams. Like, you don't have a Duke or a Kansas or even a Michigan State
I
with
just think
a
it's really,
team that
really
has
fun because you went from last year, who has like all blue
blue
bloods,
bloods. Yes.
to the most random freaking four you probably could have thought of, outside
Mm-hmm.
of UConn, probably, since they do have a little bit of pedigree.
Yeah.
But that's what makes it fun. And I think
Mm-hmm.
what we're seeing is the power of the transfer portal in college basketball. We haven't quite
Mm-hmm.
seen it in football yet. I know there's a lot more variables in football. I mean,
Yeah.
you've got 11 on the field, or 20, yeah. You've got 11 guys on the field at one time versus 5. And
Yeah.
you've got a lot
Well,
more.
but then you add on the other 11 is 22 guys versus the 5 guys that you're talking about in basketball. They play defense too.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. So like, well, if you think you got 20, well, you got 22 if you can count both teams, and you got 10 on the floor in basketball. Even then, there's way more Division 1 basketball teams than there is football teams. So
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting because the talent is being spread out a lot farther, and you're seeing that
Mm-hmm.
parity come into play where we haven't quite seen it in football yet. Which, if basketball is an indicator on football, which I mean, we're comparing apples to oranges here, but
Yeah.
if this kind of trend is any indication of what we may see in the future with the transfer portal, I find that fascinating. But we'll have to see it continue, because I'm all for parity. Like, if any,
Mm-hmm.
it's only gonna make picking brackets even harder. But
But it's why college sports is amazing. The parity in college sports is
yeah,
it's incredible to just watch a team that you never even heard of. Who heard of FDU? I can't even say their name.
Fairleigh Dickinson.
Yeah, I don't. Who heard of them
Nobody.
besides like the people who went there.
Nobody. Couldn't tell you. Nope.
I
Couldn't tell
mean,
you. Oh, I thought it was funny. So what I found out was, apparently the Xavier band learned FDU's fight song
mm-hmm.
because either their band couldn't travel or they don't have a band. And I was listening to it, and I realized, you know what that song is, or what it's basically
What?
compared to?
What?
It's basically Neck. It has different words or anything, but the exact rhythm and beat is Neck to the T.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm just like, that can't get any better. That's just freaking hilarious.
But I mean,
Which is awesome. So it's a good story. But let's talk about Final Four. Who's winning your Final Four games? You've got FAU and
FAU
SDSU,
and San Diego State. Yes.
and then you've got UConn and Miami. Who's winning?
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but I'll go back to that. I'll have in the championship game, it's going to be San Diego State and UConn. And then winning it all is going to be the Huskies.
I think I'm in the same boat with UConn. They're just so hot right now. I'm not sure even Miami being hot that they could beat them. The other game is interesting because I trust San Diego State's defense, but I feel like
Hmm.
FAU is the hotter team right now.
Yeah, but I think San Diego State might have a little bit more depth. Whenever you get, and I've watched Arkansas play San Diego State at the beginning of the year, but and I guess it's just when it's fun to watch these smaller teams at the beginning of the round, but whenever you get to the Sweet 16 weekend, then you get to Sweet 16 weekend, then you get to the Final Four. The further and further you get, the more and more attrition becomes a thing, and you know you're going to find out who has the more depth. And as good as great as FAU's played, I mean, there's reasons why some of these teams were seeded as lowly as they were.
Yeah, I can see
Not
that.
saying that, not saying that FAU won't come out and just shock the world and go to a national championship game. That very easily could happen. We could see FAU and Miami play for the national title, but like
And all
you find
Florida
you
national championship. Gross.
honestly
Florida
in
man
Texas,
finally
by the
got it
way,
right.
in Texas, by the way. Um, but
Where's
like,
the Final Four? Houston?
yeah,
Ugh. The women's Final Four is in Dallas on Friday.
I know none of my teams are in it though.
Dude, Iowa
But
and South Carolina. Oh, 8 o'clock Friday
but
night. It's gonna be great.
what was I trying to say? Yeah, I you see the depth come to play, and they now people have an understanding of what FAU is about and what these other teams are about. Okay, let's key in on this guy. Let's make sure this guy didn't score. Let's make sure we deploy this type of defense to stop them. We can do this against them. So as nice as it's been for FAU, and maybe they prove me wrong, but I'm picking San Diego State and UConn on is it Sunday or Monday? I think it's
The
Monday.
they're probably playing Saturday, and then the championship games will be
Championship game.
Monday.
So yeah,
So I agree with the Huskies. I think they'll win it. I'm just not sure about the other game. Honestly, you probably convinced me to say San Diego State's going to win. I think regardless, I think UConn's the favorite at this point. So
I can't wait next Tuesday for us to come back on here and you start screaming at me that
FAU
we
won
got
it
it wrong.
all. FAU beat Miami.
I knew I should. I knew I shouldn't have trusted you.
You liar. No, I don't know. It is what it is. But yep, another fun March is wrapping itself up quickly, which
It
is
felt
fun.
really. By the
But
way, can I just say it felt really quickly. It felt really quick.
dude, I don't even know where days are going at this point. I'm pulling them out my ass, and I have no idea where they're going. Um,
Anyway,
I'm just living life, working and doing what we do. But that's okay. But that being said, March is coming out the door. In comes April, and with April comes opening day.
and playoffs
Our
for some sports, but
Rangers,
opening day.
will
Yes.
they be good this year?
I think it depends on the health of your rotation,
What?
specifically your ace. Huh?
Who's starting on Thursday? We've got Jacob DeGrom versus Aaron Nola and the Phillies
Mm-hmm.
coming into town on Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And you
I
got a couple new
my
rules: no
only thing,
shifts and a pitch clock.
my thing is, I just hope we don't get a Corey Kluber situation with Jacob DeGrom. Pitch one inning and then never pitch for the team again. Uh, that'd be rather annoying.
you better knock on wood. Knock on wood.
I don't know, whatever. But you're absolutely spot on. If our rotation can stay healthy this year, we've got one of the better rotations we've had in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
You got DeGrom, you've got Yovaldi, which he's kind of on a downward trend in his career, but he's still solid enough to be a number 3 pitcher. We've still got Dane Dunning, we've still got John Gray, still got Martin Perez.
If Martin, like, I think, like, besides the whole DeGrom thing, it, I think another thing is, can Martin Perez do half as good as what he did last year? If
I
he
sure
if
hope
he's
so.
if he's half as good as what he did last year, then you have a fairly good 1 and 2 starter. And
If
then
he's anywhere remotely close to what he did last year, and he's our number 2, we're in good shape. That means when
and
you
then and then if Evaldi's doing decent in 3, and then John Gray was okay last year, so
well, the
like.
point is if John Gray is what you have at 5, you're in good shape.
Mhm,
The problem is the
mhm,
bullpen. Like our
yeah,
our offense wasn't horrendous last year. Was it great? No. Was it
no.
bad? Also no. It was decent enough to win games. The problem was
Mhm.
we can keep other teams from scoring. So
Help.
I love that we invested in a couple offensive pieces this year as well as our starting pitching staff. That
We
bullpen is
need
still a big
rotation.
question mark.
Or yep. Yeah, that is 100% a
Now
fact.
we
I mean,
are
that
getting a couple people
bullpen.
back healthy, Leclerc, Jonathan Hernandez, stuff like that. So that will definitely help. But I'm holding my breath until I'll see it when I believe it. I'll believe it when I see it.
Hmm. Just have all 5 of the. Just have your rotation go 8 innings every time.
Oh yeah, obviously, just do that every time and score and have them give up 3 runs, have us score 8, and we'll just go 162-0, easy,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah, we're
easy.
162 and no. What are you talking about? We're winning the World Series after that. We're sweeping everybody.
162-0 just to go out the first round, typical.
Fuck.
Um,
Okay, in that case, we're going to 160, 1-1.
eh, we'll still lose in the
Just
first
to
round.
get. Yeah, no, I don't want to do that.
Um, no, I think this year I'm staying with kind of the projection I was hoping for. And 2020 was kind of our bottom out year where we were just horrendous.
Hmm.
We got a little bit better in 21. We got a little bit
Hmm.
better last year. Um,
Wild card.
my goal this year is for us to be pushing wild card, hopefully sliding into it. If we miss it by 2 games, then
Yeah.
at least we had something to play for all year, right? Next year,
Hmm.
I want us solidly in the wild card, hopefully pushing for a division. The year after that, we need to be winning the division again. Um, if we're taking those progressive steps, that means we're making progress. If we take a step back
Hmm.
this year, then we kind of spend a bunch of money for nothing, and that's a problem.
And the
I'm
other thing that
hoping,
we have a manager that's proven that he can win it all.
and we've got our beloved pitching coach back. Honestly, we should just hire Ron Washington again, bring the band back together, uh, run it back. No, that'd be great. Imagine like Ron Washington as Bruce Bochy's number 2. That'd be crazy.
Hmm.
Um, no, like there's a lot of good stuff going for us this year, but there's just so many question marks. It feels like the Rangers
Hmm.
this year are really high upside, but also really low downside. Like very, very high risk, high
But
reward.
a lot of that goes with the rotation. If that, like I, the rotation
Well, that's what I'm saying.
stays healthy.
If we're able to stay healthy all year, we're probably getting a high reward year. If people start getting hurt and our bullpen is shit and X, Y, and Z happens, we're gonna have a shit year. So it's hard to really judge. Like I think we'll be pushing for a playoff spot in the wild card this year, but it could go either way. Like we have such a high upside, we could probably win the division, but we've got such a low downside where we could lose 100 games. So
I gotta.
it
Okay.
just doesn't make a ton of sense.
While we're still on that subject, not about the Rangers, about baseball. We got 2 new rules coming in. One is the shift rule, and then the other one is the pitch clock. What are your thoughts on both?
I think Rob Manfred is a tool. If I'm being honest, no, I mean, so the no shift thing is stupid because I tend to lie on the traditional line of thinking there, where it's like for those that actually grew up playing baseball like I did and
Hmm.
played through high school, basically, you understand that every pitch or every at bat, there's different shifts and different things going on mentally.
Yeah,
You have to be aware of.
it's like playing basketball. It's like playing basketball. You got a zone. You got a 1-2-1.
Well,
You
it's
got a
like
3-2, a 2-3.
not just with the shifts, but like positioning within the shifts. Where if
Hmm.
you're off by 2 steps, you might miss that. You might miss that fly ball. But people like casual viewers don't understand that. They just say, "Hey, oh, this play." All they see is, "Oh, this player tends to hit it this way, so people are moving this way." Well, it's true, but then why doesn't the hitter just try to hit it the other way, right? Like we saw it like right at the end of Joey Gallo's time in Texas, where people were putting such a bad shift on him. He finally started to try either bunting down the third base line or hit the other way. And guess what? It worked every freaking time because, and I understand this part, but that's the other part of the philosophy, right? Like people do
Time.
shifts to take batters out of their element. Like if
Now
you
you
know
got
you
to
have
figure out
a
what to
power
do.
hit, if you know you have a left-handed power hitter, more times than not they're going to hit it to right field. Well, hey,
Hmm.
shift to right field to take one of those options. If you try to say, hey, okay, now we're going to make you hit the other way or bunt it, we're taking away your power. But guess what?
Hmm.
Getting on base pays the bills. Getting on base will get you wins. So even if you have to be taken out of your element, you're a professional. You get paid to do this.
Yep.
Do a bunt, hit the other
Hmm.
way, do something,
Yep.
get on base, and let your team do the rest. Like you can only control so much. And at some point, you've got to take ownership of what's going on and make a change. So, for me, I've got a problem with the shifts because it's taking away some of that chess mentality of the game.
Strategy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's taking away that strategy, that chess game that baseball is. The pitch clock, I just think it's a gimmick, dude. Part of baseball is you understand there's no time limit. Yes, it's usually around 3 hours, but that's part of baseball. It's not timed. Like you're going to enjoy a game for a while. Now, I think what they said is like it on average is cut out like 30 minutes a game. Like for those that are losers, cool. Like I don't really care, dude. If I'm watching a baseball game all the way through, I'm watching a baseball game all the way through. I'm not worried about how long it is. If it's 2.5 hours,
Hmm.
3.5 hours, right? It is what it is. Um, but I'm guessing there's either enough research or enough freaking casuals out there that want the game to be shorter. So, well, and for me, right, like here's the perspective, right? We'll watch a 4.5 hour college football game, but we'll complain about a 3.5 hour baseball game. That makes no sense. So for me, I honestly I don't really care. Like I'm gonna watch baseball regardless. But at the same time, I just feel like Rob Manfred is grasping at straws, trying to get his viewership back when at the end of the day he just needs to be canned.
He honestly does. I don't
Nobody likes him.
the shift rule, yeah. Well, the shift rule I don't like because it's based like it's like if you played basketball and you're like you can only do man. You can't do any other form of defense
Uh-huh.
or or something like that. And it completely takes away the strategy. I don't agree with that one. The pitch clock I kind of agree with because I mean I think they should make the pitch clock longer. But I think I think it'll help with some of the viewership because I mean people will sit there to watch a 4 hour football game because there's more action when it comes to watching a football game. But whenever you're watching a baseball game and you're seeing him, get off, get in the plate, fix his bat, then walk back or call for time, then the pitcher calls for time. As a because you as a fan yourself, and even for me, I'm not as big of a fan as your AJ are, but I still understand that they will get out of the box and do that. I understand that. But if you're trying to get people to want to watch a sport that's kind of fallen out of its popularity, you got to find a that I think that it's a decent way to try to find people back because it's like nobody wants to watch that for 4 hours. People just try and adjust and call for time and stuff like that. But I do think they need to make the pitch clock longer.
Now you got me pissed off about baseball. I'm just gonna boycott it this year. Fuck them. Dude. I'll watch Ranger games, but that's about it. Yeah, that's about it. Honestly, here's something interesting I found out that makes is not relative to us at all or relevant to us at all. The Mets, their promotional calendar this year is ridiculous.
In terms of what?
Their giveaways this year.
Were they giving away a house?
So I'm looking at their schedule, their promotional schedule. If it would load, give me 1 second. So
Okay.
they're giving away a bronze City Field replica.
Ooh.
On the 8th. 25,000 fans, which is sick, by the way. They're giving away Mr. and Mrs. Mets, like dolls. You've got a blue hair Francisco Lindor bobblehead. You're getting Pete Alonso Pit Vipers.
Polar bear? Oh.
You've got a Pride hand fan. Well, okay, whatever. But then you've got a Black Panther Starling Marte bobblehead. You've got an Indiana Jones Mr. Met bobblehead. They've got an orange bucket hat. They're giving away a Mets crossover basketball jersey with the Knicks.
Oh, if I was a New York fan, I would enjoy that. But
they're also giving away a soccer jersey.
Ooh.
Mets soccer jersey. And then they're also giving away a Mets football jersey.
Jeez.
They've got an Edwin Diaz trumpet bobblehead. You've got.
Do you know what the Rangers are giving away?
What?
I said, do you know what the Rangers are giving away?
Not this cool stuff. You've got a Max Scherzer sunglasses. You've got a Kodai Senga glow in the dark forkball. You've got a corduroy hat.
Hey, this is fly all the way to New York.
You've got a Buck Showalter windbreaker.
Jeez.
You've got a Mets hockey jersey. And you've got a crossbody fanny pack bag they're giving away. And then a tie-dye headband.
I'd almost wish I was a Mets fan right now.
I kind of am a Mets fan now.
Yeah, this is fly. All we had to do is just fly 3 hours, 4 hours?
Too far. Let's see. The Rangers promotional schedule is not that good. You've got a Corey Seager jersey.
Oh.
You've got a replica Arlington Stadium.
When?
Like the OG Arlington Stadium.
Yeah.
April 22nd.
I have a replica.
You got a powder blue hoodie.
Ooh. Okay.
You've got a 1974 Fergie Jenkins replica jersey.
Oh, nice.
You can get a Rangers pennant. Great. They've got a stupid Nate Lowe bobblehead. Get a Hawaiian shirt on June 4th.
We need to get the promotional manager from the Mets, kidnap him, and bring him to the Rangers.
They've got a Mexican heritage hat on June 17th that actually looks pretty cool. 20th anniversary captain bobblehead. Great. They've got a Rangers ugly tank top. Yeah, that's not good. A retired numbers hat. That's about it. Fleece blanket. Rangers replica jersey. Bat night. Topps
Let's
baseball
go.
cards.
How far is CD?
Martin Perez
How far is
bobblehead.
City Field from here?
Along about 4.5 5 hour flight. Fleece blanket. Promotional given away TBD. Sick. A Rangers Loteria game. Sick. You got an Adolis Garcia bobblehead, a Globe Life Field replica. So yeah.
Oh, nice.
Not anywhere nice. Not as nice as
Can we get the promotional manager for the Mets?
dude, imagine you've seen those like Stars jerseys that are powder blue that say Rangers on them?
I think so, yeah.
Dude, I would love one of those. Even if it's like a cheap one that I got it for free. Because like if you try to go like purchase buy those real ones in auction, they're like hundreds of dollars. I would love a powder blue Stars jersey. I'd wear the hell out of that. But unfortunately, it's impossible to get. So I need our promotions to be better.
A lot better.
Unfortunately.
All right.
But that's only one thing to complain about. We could be complaining about the Mavericks.
Oh, boy. Is that what we're transitioning to?
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, we could talk about that. The Cowboys have a draft in about a month. Stars are doing fairly well. But I guess since you talk about the Mavericks, let's talk about them. Jason Kidd needs to be fired.
I tend to agree.
I don't like firing a coach after 2 years, but
we've gotten
especially
worse
after
year to year,
especially after you've been to the Western Conference Finals. But he clearly, I mean, I haven't watched a lot of the games, but from press conferences, it just sounds like he does not care anymore.
Well,
and on top of that, his go ahead.
Here's a problem that I think we talked about originally when it happened, but now we're seeing the actual magnitude of it. In trading for Kyrie, you traded away significantly better defense for marginally better offense. So what we've seen is, yes, we're still scoring with some of the best in the league. Our problem is
maintain that
now we're giving up 10 to 20 more points a game. And guess what? That's costing us games.
Yep.
And
yeah,
it's not even fun to watch. Like the Mavericks are not a fun team to watch. I remember right when we traded for Kyrie and Luka was hurt and it was just Kyrie out there. The Mavericks were a fun team to watch because they slung the ball around and passed it like the Warriors. When Luka's out there, it's some bullshit ISO basketball where it's just Luka doing some stupid shit and either him taking a dumb shot or making a pass at the last second. We know what's coming. And Luka and Kyrie do not play well together. Like
there's a lack of chemistry.
I was watching the game the other night against the Warriors, and we've got the lead. And you're letting Kyrie drive to the hoop essentially unblocked to win the game. Like, you're not like Luka just stands there. He doesn't even switch on to him. Do something for defense. Like it's just in shambles. Like I understand the mentality of Jason Kidd's offensive system allows his stars to be stars, but we've got to have a more disciplined defensive system. And I'm not convinced you're going to get that with Luka, or even just Kyrie. I'm not convinced you get that.
No. Well, I mean, I thought this.
It hurt. It hurt even more to watch when Jalen Brunson's crushing it with the Knicks right now.
That's a contract that we failed to do, and looks like we might be doing the same thing with Christian Wood, although he's not playing great. But I mean, when the trade happened, it was like it's nice to have offensively, but what did you get defensively? There's nothing that we did defensively. I mean, Christian Wood's a good offensive player, but like he's a liability on defense. Like there's nobody that that really maybe Josh Green's okay on defense, but like there's nobody that really terrifies you or intimidates you at all whenever it comes to the defensive side of the ball. You got some guys that really try hard, but they're not. They honestly shouldn't be starting. Some of them shouldn't be starting.
And what I've got a
Or playing
problem
as
with
many minutes as they are.
is when I've got a problem with how JaVale McGee seems to be solid anytime he's in the game, but he hardly gets any minutes. And then, especially when Luka and or Kyrie isn't playing, why the hell isn't Jaden Hardy getting more time?
That goes back to Jason Kidd. He's the one in charge of the minutes.
Jaden Hardy is a star in the making, and he's getting hardly any minutes.
You got Ntilikina playing, who does nothing. You got Tim Hardaway Jr., who's a black hole. And yeah, Jaden Hardy should be getting more minutes. JaVale McGee's played better. He should be playing minutes, but like he plays guys that don't contribute anything over guys that, if you put them out there, can actually help the team out.
I don't understand the Jason Kidd experiment anymore. It's frustrating. We just have to be better, and it's not happening. It's frustrating for us because we just sit on the side and complain about it. We're not in a position to make changes.
As Luka does deserve some criticism, but I mean, it's you traded for a guy who has a completely different philosophy when it comes to running an offense in the NBA than Luka does. So it just, as much as that's just Luka's style. Luka's style is it's what LeBron was basically. It's ISO ball and you catch and shoot. I would like to see the ball move a lot more, but that's just not how he really plays. But they've got to be smarter offense, or they got to be better on defense. Honestly,
that's where the start is, and I'm at the point where, I mean, we talked about it earlier. They've played themselves out of the playoffs at this point, with one of the weakest
and honestly
remaining in the NBA. And I'm at the point where it feels like an offseason would do us some good. Like,
yeah, I don't want to see them in the playoffs.
I don't want us to go watch us play a 9-10 game and lose to the Thunder, whoever it's going to be.
Yeah.
And what's the weirdest thing is, I was looking at it yesterday. We're 3.5 games out of like 14th place. We're also 3.5 games out of 4th place.
It has been very tight for a long time in the West.
So
I mean,
it's just ridiculous. I'm ready for some kind of change. I don't know what that looks like. I couldn't tell you, but something needs to give, or we're going to sit in this spiral of mediocrity, which I'm tired of as a Dallas fan.
Well, that's about. I mean, the thing is that we act like a mid-market team. We're a big market, but like for some reason we run around like we're a San Antonio or Milwaukee. We could get some of the biggest name players to come here, but for some reason, probably the owner doesn't. We can't seem to land a free agent ever, even with Luka.
That probably says something about your organization. So I'll leave it at that, because things are probably not going to change as quickly as we'd like them to.
Nope, you might be seeing Luka in a different jersey in a few years, and he'll probably win a championship with them.
Gotta love that. I think I've had enough. I think we need to reset and recharge, and we're going to come back next week so we can apologize again.
So you can scream at me for having you pick against FAU.
Absolutely. That's 100% going to happen. We've got a fun weekend coming up. You've got the Final Four, men's and women's. There's OU Texas softball this weekend.
Opening day,
Opening day this week. WrestleMania is this weekend.
college baseball. Oh yeah, college baseball
We've got a Formula One race this
going.
weekend. Red Bull's going to win by a minute
Got a
again.
lot of hockey. Got
Uh,
hockey. Got basketball. NBA.
So there's a lot. There's a lot going to happen this weekend. I'm excited for it, and I'm going to enjoy my weekend. I do have work I have to do, unfortunately, this weekend, but I'm going to enjoy my time. But anything else you would add before we wrap up here?
Go Stars, go Maps, go Rangers, go Cowboys,
Go Stars.
go Dallas.
How about them Rangers?
Arkansas.
Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. Jacob deGrom stays healthy.
Fix yourself, Mavericks.
I am looking forward to a Stars playoff run. That'll be fun. But we gotta get there.
Stars need to stop playing overtime games. All right,
that's the one. But thanks for listening. We'll see you when we see you. We'll catch you next week.
Goodbye.